I can measure the time portion of a table. My table, it persists in time.
And how much time is there in the volume of your table?
That's a non sequitur.
No shit!
Teaching otherwise is apparently child abuse, if you didn't know.
Teaching otherwise of what?
Earth curve.
Oh, saying there isn't any Earth curve.
Yeah. Teaching children that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane is child abuse, apparently.
According to who?
Fight Flat Earth.
According to Fight the Flat Earth. Is he suddenly the education secretary in this country now?
He's making public statements that that's the case. Yeah,
he's a retard. Certifiable.
I would agree with him.
Oh, no.
That he's a retard.
I bet you
Here we go, Brenda. Serious Brenda.
He said he's a retard, and Brenda said I would agree with him.
Yeah.
Well, you're thinking he's a retard isn't the salient fact. I do think
very, very dumb
children flat Earth would amount to child abuse. Yeah.
Oh, really? Why, Brenda? Why?
Because you're handicapping their future education, and preventing them from understanding the world around them.
Besides a baseless assertion, what have you actually got to justify that statement, Brenda?
I just told you, teaching children lies is abusive to them.
It's not a lie.
It neglects.
Brenda.
Which lie?
You said it restricts their understanding of the world? That's what you said? It limits their education, you said?
Yes.
So can you expand on this?
It's a lie.
Yeah, I heard that. So I'm hoping you'll expand on your description that it limits their capability of understanding the world and limits their education. Can you explain those two, please?
Yes, because you're teaching them falsehoods about the world and bad reasoning, bad science. So,
come on, for instance. You don't even know what science is. Give us a for instance.
Yeah, exactly. Can you qualify these statements with an example rather than a baseless assertion?
Can I just state that it was level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. That was where Brenda jumped in, saying that was child abuse. Is that right, Brenda?
Well, that would be a bad definition.
A bad definition? What do you mean? It's just a definition. They could look it up in their English class, so I don't understand how this is a qualification for in any way limiting their understanding of the world or limiting their ability to be educated. It doesn't qualify that statement in any way, shape, or form, Brenda. So far, big fat fail for your baseless assertion.
Because, like you, for instance, you can't understand the difference between concepts and the things that concepts refer to, because you are conceptually crippled by your belief in the flat Earth.
Sorry, why is this turned into?
Yeah, you're mentally crippled.
Sorry, I don't need to hear it 4 more times. I heard. So why is this turned into an ad hominem attack on me, rather than a description of how this would in any way qualify as child abuse or limit the education capacity of a child or diminish their ability to be educated? You haven't qualified that
because
at all.
It cripples the child intellectually.
That's another baseless assertion. You haven't given us a for instance.
What do you mean a for instance?
Well, Bev's given you a qualification for why this statement's been made. Bev's given you a qualification for the justification by your own side to claim child abuse. He gave you a specific example about defining level. Now, after that example, you've spewed out a few more baseless assertions and attacked me personally. So that doesn't qualify a lack of ability to be educated at all.
Okay, are you finished now?
Yeah, we want an example. Support your claims. Don't be a village idiot.
Well, if you teach your children the basic concepts that you teach about flat Earth, that child will be intellectually crippled.
Like
because they
what?
will
It's
lack
another baseless
the-
assertion,
they will-
Brenda. So, Brenda, you've just continually spewed baseless assertions without giving any cowbell, any qualification, a for instance in quantum erasers terms. So we'd need you to actually back what you're saying with an example. I've tried to help you along with Bev's example because he gave a specific detailed description of level and then was told that would be child abuse if you told it to children. Your response to that was, that's a bad definition. Because, like, in the dictionary, they're going to have bad and good written above these definitions? No, that's nonsensical. So you're yet to qualify your baseless assertions, and you're making more. And then attacking me personally. So, do you have anything, Brenda, or is this the end? Can we move on with other housekeeping questions? And accept that this is definitely not child abuse beyond the baseless assertions of village idiots that don't qualify their claims?
Well, an example then, a qualification of the claim, would be teaching children that gravity, it doesn't exist, cripples them intellectually because gravity does exist. It is a fact that everybody knows.
Okay, can you show it me,
Teaching
please?
children that- teaching
Sorry,
children-
this is a debatable subject. So, can you show me gravity if it exists, please? I'd like to qualify it by holding it.
Yeah, gravity is the effect. It's a phenomenon, which is the effect of mass curving space-time.
Sorry, space-time is a conceptual medium. We went through this yesterday. Eventually, you talked through me at nausea and I had to eject you because you wouldn't accept that you had reified the convention described by Einstein. You refused to accept that that was a reification on your part.
Yeah, because it isn't. What do you mean by conceptual medium? What does that phrase mean?
It means that a medium would be something you can put stuff into in physical terms, and conceptual means it only exists in your mind. So it's a medium that only exists in your mind. It's conceptual,
Well, that's
Brenda.
the wrong definition of medium. A medium isn't like a thing that you can put stuff into. That's not what medium means.
I'm more concerned with the conceptual bit.
Yeah, can you have concepts about things, Nathan?
Yes, you can have a concept about what a car is, but then I can actually show you a physical actual car. You can't show me a physical actual gravity because it only exists as a concept. It's a conceptual medium. Space-time is conceptual. It doesn't actually exist. There is no actual space-time. Time itself is a concept. So you're never going to show me space-time. And yesterday when we discussed this, you said it's all around you. And I explained, like love. Love can be described as being all around you, but it's just a concept. I can't give you some love. It's a metaphor if you want to describe touching somebody as giving them love, because love is a concept, like space-time. I can't put a bow around it and present it to somebody. I can't present love. I can't present space-time. It's a concept. Simple.
Can you behave in a loving manner towards somebody? Say, for instance,
Did I not just say this literally 10 seconds ago? I described that metaphor. I just did.
Yeah.
Am I nuts?
Yeah,
did I literally not just say that 10 seconds ago? That would be a metaphor. It's not an actualization of love. It's a metaphorical description of being, in your now vernacular, loving. Right, but that's not a box of love. I can't weigh it. I can't qualify it in any way, shape or form. The only qualification I can give is for the physical interaction. And you can describe that as love by metaphor, but it's not. It's a concept. Like freedom.
It's not a concept, it's an emotion. And you can behave in a loving manner.
Brenda, what he's trying to tell you is you can't physically manipulate a concept. Space-time is a concept. You can't bend it or dilate it. Do you get it?
Space-time is a concept that refers to an actual physical reality,
really? What's
which
the
you
physical
can
reality? Show us.
manipulate. Space, and time, which is duration.
Extension and okay, show us a box of each.
Yeah, any particle you can measure extension. Get a
Oh,
ruler,
no. Show
and you
us.
can measure. Get a ruler and
Show us.
measure extension. You can measure
Show
the
us.
width.
I want to see you bending time.
This is elementary
Is
relativity.
this scientific evidence?
Yes.
Oh, give me a moment.
Yeah.
Natural phenomena
The
first,
phenomena
please.
that we observe is the bending of space-time. That's the
Oh, can you show it
observation.
us then, please? Can you show us that?
Yeah, that was in the Eddington experiment in
No.
1909. About
Brenda. We're not at experiment stage. Right, so I don't want to hear about experiment. We just want to hear about the phenomena. Now, in physics, it deals with the physical. Things that actually exist. Physical things. Now, mathematics deals with the abstract. Not physical. Abstractions. Now, we want to know, first and foremost, what's the actual thing we're dealing with. I dealt with it yesterday when I asked you to show me space-time and you failed and just told me it was all around me like love. So now we're asking what we can actually see, and your natural phenomena is something that's conceptual. Bending of space-time. I can't bend time. Neither can you. You're not a Time Lord. You're not Doctor Who. None of us are going to be bending this concept. It's not physical, so we can't bend it. But you've got a natural phenomena of bending conceptual mediums, which you can't do. So you're not going to show me anything that's space-time, and you're certainly not going to show me bending it. It's purely conceptual, purely mathematical, not real, not physical, not a natural phenomena. A concept, Brenda. That's why you can't show it me and I can't manipulate it in any way.
Yeah, we can. So one test of relativity was Eddington's 1919 experiment.
I've just
about,
said, first
the
step.
sun
Brenda,
deflecting.
stop. Right, the scientific method is set out very specifically. And the first step in the method is to observe a phenomena. The reason that's the first step is because the whole point of the process, the scientific method, is to elucidate the cause of an effect. An effect is a phenomena. So if you're going to try and figure out the cause of a phenomena, you first got to see a phenomena. I'm asking you where the phenomena is, and you're telling me about an experiment. Now that's step 3 in the method. It's you trying to vary and manipulate something you think caused the effect and seeing if it actually does. That's an experiment. We're not there yet. Second time I've said this. It's going to get tedious if I have to repeat it a third and fourth time. The first step is to observe a phenomena. You've said space-time, and like yesterday, I've pointed out that you can't show it me. You just said it's all around me. And I've said, no, it isn't like love, it's a concept. So we're not going to go to an experiment to extract out a phenomena. That's step 1. Experiment is step 3. So don't give me a phenomena from an experiment. That's not how the method works. Please don't bastardize science. Just give us the phenomena. Oh, what's that you haven't got space-time to show us? Because it's a concept. Yes, we've already gone through this, Brenda. You just refuse to accept it. Because it's your religious belief. So you must reify it in the face of us pointing out that you can't physically show it us.
Space is extension, and time is duration.
Show it to
Space is
us or
measured by-
shut up. Show it to us.
You
or
can just
shut
measure anything
up.
around you, and it will have
Show it to
aspects
us.
of
I'm gonna
space
mute
and
your
time.
dumbass.
You put those two
Aspects of
ideas
Show
together.
space
it
and
to us
time.
right
So
now.
I measure something and you're saying it's got aspects of space and time when I measure something with a ruler. So I measure something with a ruler and then I've got to what? Reify the concept that has got aspects of space and time in it? Both mathematical constructs that aren't in physical existence? What, I've got to reify those things, have I, Brenda? Because you say so? Because you've got a religious belief that you reify? No, it's a concept, Brenda. That's why you can't show it us. And you're telling us about doing a measurement with a ruler and telling us about the concepts you reify in the form of space and time that are associated with making a measurement with a ruler. Now, there's no space-time involved enough I run a ruler down something. Space and time aren't in existence in physical terms. They're concepts.
Oh, do you agree that length and breadth exist, don't you?
Oh, yeah, Brenda, length and breadth. Sorry, we don't have
Those are
pseudo...
real?
I'm talking.
Those are real?
I'm talking. We don't have Pseudo-Ramonian for space, length, breadth, depth, and time. So that would be your Einsteinian mathematic. Last chance. Talk over me again. I'm going to kick you out. That was the Einsteinian edition of time. A concept. So then we end up with bending of length, breadth, depth, and space-time. No, Brenda. It's conceptual, mathematical, invented by Einstein. Not real, not physical, not tangible. A concept.
You can measure a thing's length and breadth, and it persists
Just
in
kick her
time.
out.
Therefore, you're measuring its time. That's how
Really?
time is measured,
Okay.
by persistence.
How much time
By
is there?
persistence,
How much
it's
time?
duration.
How much time is there in a cubic meter, please, Brenda?
Cubic meter is space, not time.
Sorry, you just told me when I run a ruler down something, time and space are factors I would be considering because you told me to, because you reified those concepts. Now I'm asking you, given that you've told me specifically only 2 minutes ago that when measuring something, I will be factoring in space and time, according to you, you religious fundy zealot, how much time is in a cubic meter?
As much time as it takes you to measure it, because
Oh,
it
really?
doesn't blink out of
So,
existence.
so how much
Doesn't
time
blink
there
out
is
of
in a cubic
existence.
meter depends on how good you are with a tape measure. You're a fool.
No,
You're a complete
no,
retard.
that's not what I said.
That's what you just said. How long it takes you to measure it. So how swift I am with a tape measure is dictatorial to how much space-time there is in a cubic meter. You're insane.
The object you're measuring persists in time, does it not?
Sorry, how much time is there in that cubic meter? Yes or no?
If I measure my table, it persists in time.
And how much time is there in the volume of your table?
That's a non sequitur.
No shit! It's a fucking concept, you daft bitch! No fucking shit, it's a non sequitur. It's nonsensical because time's a concept and space-time has been reified by you batshit crazy idiots. So yeah, it's non sequitur, as the penny finally dropped, you stupid idiot.
I can measure the time portion of a table
Brenda, you've
by
already
measuring.
said
Oh, go on then.
how
Go
long
on.
it
Go on then.
persists-
Go on
how long
then.
it
You can measure the
persists in
time. Get someone write that down as a quote. I can measure the time proportion of a table. How much time
Yes,
is there in a
yes.
table? You complete
I
Remember
moron.
that,
I
don't
didn't
worry.
catch that.
You never cease to deliver better and
By-
better idiot
I
quotes,
know.
Brenda. Better and better stupidity
By-
every time
I
you
can
come
do
here.
that.
I can measure the amount of time in a table.
Yes, I can.
You complete retard. Do you have any idea how stupid you sound? You're just beyond stupid, Brenda. It's almost painful listening to you.
By noting that the table persists in time, I am
Time's a
measuring
concept.
its time.
Time's a concept. Time is a concept. So what, because it persists in your reification of time? What, and the qualification you'll give with a clock and its cogs moving? It's a concept.
So let me explain this. So if I say the table is in the kitchen and how it's been there for 3 days, I can give you the spatial component, which is length, breadth, and height, and the time component, which it's been there for 3 days.
What, you
That's how you measure
arbitrarily
space.
assigned how much it spent in your kitchen rather than Home Depot, and that's how much space time it's got? You complete moron. You think that your arbitrary assignment of its time value is how much space time it's got? You thick. Like, literally, you're telling us how you square the circle by acquiring a table, and then the length of time it spends in your vicinity is its quantity of space-time based on its physical dimensions and duration in your presence. You complete retard.
That's what science is, Nathan. It's
Oh my God. Science is the establishment of cause and effect based on naturally observed phenomena. It's not how much bloody Brenda time there is in a table based on how much time it's spent in her kitchen. This is nonsense. That's not science. You total moron. You're just insulting us.
That's why teaching your children flat Earth is.
That's why being a globehead retard is definitely detrimental for your children. How dare she thou spew that us explaining to her that time's a concept about half a dozen different times, and her telling us that she can qualify how much space-time there is in a table is a justification for telling us that we abuse our children when we explain what level means. No, Brenda, never have children, because it's not going to work out well for them with you telling them that a shoe is a phenomena. Yeah, you would be abusing your children by telling them that science is telling them that a phenomena is a shoe, or that you can qualify how much time there is in a table by how much time it's spent in your kitchen. Don't abuse children by ever talking them to them about anything ever, Brenda. You just by talking to children would be abuse.
You not being able to
Shut up. Don't ad hom me. I've just demonstrated how stupid you are. No, you don't get the opportunity to just ad hom the shit out of me, you complete retard. Don't ever talk to children. Your words will infect them and make them less able to be able to process things sensibly. Your presence around them will make them stupid.
So you're confused about the distinction
Brenda
between
can
the
get kids
noumenal
anymore, but
and the phenomenal, right? That's your confusion.
Brenda,
Immanuel Kant made a
Brenda
distinction
literally
between
said
the
you can
nominal
measure the
and the.
space-time in a
Hold on.
table. Like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're not even...
If
Right.
you just
Well, it probably only would work if there was a donut on the table, though.
But
Brenda,
was it? But the donut, the hole in the donut was space-time, wasn't it, Brenda? So now you have the
Yeah,
space-time
yeah.
in the table
Yeah, it's
and in the
composed
hole
of
in the
that.
donut? How does that work?
I hear there's this artist that actually, what is it? Plasters edibles into tables. Maybe that has something to do with it.
can we
Depends how
get
long.
back to the actual statement Bev made? Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. That is not teaching flat Earth. That is talking about what level is. Is that child abuse?
Of course not.
Yeah, that's not the definition of level. Level means perpendicular to the surface of the Earth.
You want to bring that up? Can you post that in live stream? Do you want to post that in live stream? Let's see where you got that from.
Let's go ahead and share screen. Let's go over level. Oh boy. All
Pulling up
right.
that citation, Brenda?
It looks like
No,
Kiwi's
we're
beat
gonna
you
go
to
over
it.
level right here.
Okay.
I got it 4. Level is flat. They're mutually exclusive. From Merriam-Webster, level, to make a line or surface horizontal. To make flat or level. Synonyms: even, flat, flush, plane. These are all Merriam-Webster. Level, flat, plane, even, smooth means having a surface without bends, curves, or irregularities. Let's get some more. Dictionary.com. Level, having no part higher than another, having a flat or even surface. Level, being in a plane parallel to the plane of the horizon. Horizontal. Level, to make a surface level, even, or flat. From Cambridge, level, not rising or falling or higher on one side, but even in all directions. Horizontal or flat. Level, something that is level with something else is at the same height. Level, to make a surface flat. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
using the physics definition, number 10 under the Wiktionary entry. It's the physics definition used by physicists means physics
Really?
perpendicular to gravity. That's what level means.
Can you
in
please cite
physics.
that? Can you
Post
please cite that?
Yeah, post it in
Brenda.
live stream, please.
Thanks.
I said it's in Wiktionary,
It was,
and it's
sorry, can I
the
just
10th definition.
yeah, would that be a plumb bob though? That would be perpendicular to a vertical, would it? Like a plumb bob. Is that how you would say whatever you're saying? Would a plumb bob tell you the direction of what you're talking about?
The plumb bob indicates the direction of gravity.
And
yes.
would that be a vertical?
It's a vertical line that would indicate that the surface.
Yeah,
you,
so
you
what's
put the plumb
Brenda?
to
What's
is level.
what's perpendicular to a vertical, please?
It's not perpendicular to a vertical. That's not what it is.
What was it perpendicular to then, please?
You just said
gravity.
Hold on.
The gravity is a plumb bob, is it?
Gravity.
Gravity
We
is
just went
not
over
a
gravity.
plumb
Hold
bob.
on, QE. Just Bev and Brenda, please.
Gravity is not a plumb bob.
Oh, so how would you determine what you call that thing? The direction of gravity
So a plumb bob would indicate the direction
of
gravity.
Right. So what would be vertical, wouldn't it? Because that's what a plumb bob is in reality when we use it.
A plumb bob indicates the direction of gravity.
Vertical,
right?
yeah.
He just keeps on saying the same thing over and over again. Gravity. We just went over gravity, right? There is no gravity.
It's a vertical, isn't it? That's what a plumb bob does, Brenda. And perpendicular to vertical is a horizontal, isn't it? So even in your statement, you are saying horizontal. You do realize that, don't you?
The way you would measure if something is level is by using you would use a carpenter's level, right? And you would align it with, say, the 2x4, the piece of wood, and it would be perpendicular because it would line up. The bubble would line up between the two marks, right? It would indicate that it is perpendicular to the force of gravity. The plumb bob indicates the direction of
gravity. Doesn't exist.
Gravity's not Brenda, we covered this yesterday. Gravity's not a force.
Yeah,
you just said it was perpendicular. Sorry, hold on, Bev. We covered this yesterday, Brenda. You said it was perpendicular to the force of gravity. Gravity's not a force. We went over this yesterday.
It is. It's a vector. Gravity is a vector.
Brenda, we covered this on this show. Space-time is a concept.
No, it's not. It's physical.
Yes, it is.
and it gives.
It is.
It gives a vector.
Brenda, may I remind you that you've told us that the amount of time in a particular area, in this case, an example, a table, is the amount of time it spends in your kitchen. So, let's not be qualifying how real space-time is when you can't show us beyond a qualification of how much time a table spent in your kitchen. That's not really scientific evidence of gravity, and gravity's qualified by your priests as not a force. So this plumb bob is definitely not perpendicular to the force of gravity. Let's just get that clear. Feel free to continue, Bev.
Okay, so no, see, a plumb bob is a tool in reality that is used by people, and what it does is it indicates.
What does it indicate?
Vertical.
What does it indicate?
Vertical.
What does a plumb bob indicate?
A vertical, Brenda.
Right, it indicates the direction of gravity. Right?
No, Brenda. I'm going to kick you out. You didn't acknowledge what I said. We said it to you yesterday. It's not a force. Your own priests say, George Musa quote, gravity's not a force. Now, you can think of it as a force. You can. That doesn't mean it is, or that anything's being forced perpendicular to anything else with this force, because it's not a force. Now, I appreciate that you're following instructions from George Musa. You're thinking of it as a force because he told you to. Now, we're not being told by George Musa to think of gravity as a force. We can think of it as roast chicken, but we're not going to be. Now you are, and we're telling you, it's not a force, it's a concept you've reified. Stop asserting this. If you say it a third time, I'll kick you out because you're wrong. Nothing's being forced perpendicular to anything by gravity. You are wrong. It's not a force.
Gravity is not a force.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
correct.
The bending of space-time.
So let's not worry about what's forcing anything perpendicular. We don't need to rehash this, Brenda. Brenda, we don't need to rehash this. We discussed it earlier. We don't need you to reify all over us how you take this concept of space-time and tell us that we've got a gravity well with an assumed R-value sphere Earth being pulled to the bottom of it. Your concepts and ideas about how the world works don't bother us because they're not physical and actual and real. And you don't have a force pulling this plumb bob perpendicular. So let's just move on with Bev's point, not spew back into your concepts of space-time. We don't need to hear it. Your fantasies are irrelevant. We're talking about things being perpendicular. Go ahead, Bev.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. Like a perpendicular is defined within Euclidean geometry as a line that meets another line, a straight line that meets a straight line at right angles. Would you agree with that, Brenda?
Yeah, that's what it means, at right angles to.
So one straight line has to meet another straight line, perpendicular, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so eye level.
That's it.
Eye level would be an example, right?
An example of what? Sorry.
What you just said.
Eye level would be an example of perpendicular.
Yes, right.
How?
Correct?
Perpendicular.
You don't
with what?
understand that? You don't understand it? You just explained it. What are you talking about? How
Hold
can
on,
you
hold
not
on. There's been some
understand that?
confusion. He's not agreeing
Brenda.
with you. Hold on, Bev. He's asking you for further qualification as opposed to agreeing with you, Brenda. There's a slight upward inflection.
Well, see, so he said, okay, so I can explain that. So perpendicular means at right angles, right, to the force of gravity, to the
No,
pulling
it
of the
doesn't.
force of
I'm going to
gravity.
kick her out.
Get her
So
out.
eye
Now, hold
level-
on.
eye
Anybody
level is
object? I'm going to kick her
perpendicular.
out.
Yeah, get her out of here.
Bev.
So yeah.
Bev.
Hey,
You
Bev,
object?
we should debate sometime. We should
Brenda,
debate
I've told you.
Yeah, I
Now let's
don't
just
think
tell her why
it'll be a
she's
big
leaving
debate,
because
will
she
it?
will cry
See you-
foul.
See you, Brenda.
And, all right, Brev's in agreement that you're going to be being kicked
I
out, Brenda.
destroy you. I destroy you.
Brenda, on
You're
3
never-
separate occasions, I've told you not to
Oh, right,
reassert your
yeah.
reification of gravity being a force. And every time it comes to you describing something being perpendicular, you insert your reified force. Now, it's also been explained to you that this is Euclidean, 3 space. So there's no space-time, there's no 4th dimensional time in this. But you're utilising 4th dimensional space-time in the form of gravity. It's just been explained to you. Not gravity. Not pseudo-Riemannian 4 space, Euclidean 3 space! But you've agreed and then substituted in a completely different mathematics to give you a non-force. So, bye-bye, Brenda, you've done it 3 times. I've now explained why you're not playing fair. You're just reifying your concepts all over us. So bye-bye. Take it elsewhere to other fundies who will just nod along when you reify concepts the way they like to reify them also. We don't have to reify this into a force because a man said you can think of it as a force. We don't. We work at the really is level here. We work with physics and the physical, not with the conceptual and the mathematical. Bye-bye.